Hello and welcome to another solar video on the channel. My name is Ivan Pashov, and in this video, we're going to be talking about how to choose and pick the right install partner or EPC partner if you're a solar sales organization or you're simply selling solar on your own, right? So currently, as recording this, it's the 28th of December 2020. We're getting ready for a final push of this year, and we're almost in 2021. So we want to make sure that we're well prepared if we're looking to, start selling solar in 2021, whether that's in a different location, different state, or simply change of career for some of you, right? If you're going to get into solar, I'm going to show you today exactly what to look for when choosing the right install partner. So let's get right into the video. So the first thing you want to do when choosing the right install partner for your company or for yourself, you want to make sure that you do your due diligence or you do your research, right? I mean, I know that sounds obvious and it's like, well, obviously I'm going to do my research, but more often than not, I've had clients come to me saying, well, I've been, screwed over by this company, screwed over by that company sort of lied to me, right? And it wasn't what it turned out to be. Had I done more research, I wouldn't have been in the place that I'm in now. So that's why you want to do your research. What I mean by that, when choosing an install partner, that's like going into business with somebody, right? Because you doing your end of the deal, which is selling the deal to the customer, and that's only halfway there, right? They still need to install the job in order for both of you to get paid, right? Otherwise, if you don't sell the deal, you don't sell the deal. But if you sell the deal, but they're not, they don't hold true to their end of the deal, then you're going to have a lot of cancellations. You're going to have a lot of unhappy customers. That's going to ruin your reputation, so on and so forth, right? So you want to make sure you do your due diligence. How you do your due diligence is you go to Facebook groups, okay? Facebook groups. Ask around, okay? There's probably people out there that you don't even know that have worked with the company that you're about to, you're about to sign with, right? So ask around in Facebook groups, okay? Meet people, meet new people. Ask around, find out what the experiences have been, right? Because a lot of the times, if you go on their website, no one's gonna put in, shitty information about, their company on their website. Most likely, the real information you're gonna find out, and real life experiences you're gonna find out from people and organizations that have actually worked with that company. So first thing to do is definitely ask, meet new people and ask in Facebook groups, in forums. The next thing you wanna do is check their online reviews. Go and Google. Check their BBB score, right? That's very important. Why is it very important to check the BBB? Because your customers are going to check their BBB, right? If their BBB score is, C or whatever, right? That's more likely going to do a disservice rather than, help you, close more deals. That could actually be a deal breaker if people find out that your install partner is not that credible, they don't do their job right, and they've actually, disappointed a lot of people. So Facebook groups, BBB, and obviously Google reviews is the next one. And as a part of that research, you want to find out, whether the company is big or small. Right? And a lot of you are probably sitting there asking, well, why does that make any difference, right? Well, I'll tell you why. It does make a difference because if it's a small company, there's nothing wrong with being a small company. Don't get me wrong, okay? Nothing wrong with being a small company. Everybody starts somewhere. However, more often than not, I've had people tell me, especially during this year and the virus, when the first wave hit, we've had a lot of companies that my clients have personally worked with they've absolutely gone under. They went belly up, and my clients ended up losing a lot of money in, in backends. So you want to make sure that the company is stable enough to withstand another wave of the virus, for example, in 2020, or a market crash, or whatever it might be, right? Go for companies, that's my personal advice to you, go for companies that are at least in, that are in multiple states, okay? So, multiple states. Because if they're not in multiple states, that means they're not, most likely they haven't grown to that stage yet, and they're probably not very big, right? Now, obviously I could be wrong, but more often than not, people, EPC or installers that are in multiple states, they've already grown to a certain point that should already put you at ease. And the next thing you want to make sure is they give you a good red line or a decent red line, right? Why is that important? Because the lower the red line, the more money you get to keep for yourself and the more profit that means for your company. So when you're looking for a red line, there's two things you need to look for, okay? I'm gonna just put it on the board as red line, as being the next thing you wanna look for. But the main thing you wanna know is a lot of people wanna, get you in on their side, say, hey, we'll give you the lowest red line in the industry, we'll do this, we'll do that, right? However, what you want to make sure is that there is no hidden adders, okay? A lot of people are getting into great deals, meaning, hey, I've got this installer and they gave me a good red line, and they told me they're the cheapest in the industry, and they do a good job, right? However, when you add it up, you find out that they have a lot of adders for things that you shouldn't even be charged for, right? And so you want to make sure that they give you a good adder, but at the same time, it doesn't sound too good to be true, because at the end of the day, they still need to make money. So if they give you a red line of, let's say, 160 or 170, and you get all happy about it, that's one thing you should keep in mind. You need to ask them questions. Hey, what does that entail? Okay, what does that red line entail? Right? What am I entitled to with that red line? Okay, and are there any, and you want to find out. And you want to ask them, what that red line really entails. Like, you want to find out what's included in that red line. It's very important. A lot of people don't ask. Okay, they find out when they start pushing deals through that installer. They're like, wow, I thought my red line was 170, and it turns out to be 230, and it just doesn't make sense, right? So you want to make sure that you ask them questions before beginning to work with them. And the next thing you want to know is what their install time really is. And one thing to keep in mind when finding out what their install time is that you cannot rely solely on what the company tells you on what their install time is, which goes back to, asking around, online, asking around in Facebook groups, forums, right? People that have worked with that company. Hey, they told me the red line is, 30 to 60 days, but is that really what you've seen, right? And stuff like that. So you want to make sure that you ask around, and again, you do your due diligence on the install time, because that definitely, I can tell you this for a fact, it could be a deal breaker. Why? Because if you've sold a deal, right? You've done your job, you've done your end of the deal, but if you're making people wait to get their install, people can very easily get impatient, and that could cost you a deal. So you want to make sure they have a decent install time, and you don't want to just ask them for it. You want to ask around, again, do your due diligence, find out if they're really telling the truth, and if that's realistically what their install time really is. And the last thing you want to do when choosing the right installer or an EPC partner for your company or for yourself. So you want to make sure that they pay out front end money. Okay? If they're not willing to pay out on the front end, again, depending on your current situation, if you have reserves of cash and you don't really looking to get money on the front end, that's fine. That doesn't apply to you. But for everyone else that gets in this game lean and mean and wants to make money quickly, you want to make sure that you have enough money to keep your business going, to keep your marketing expenses, to pay your salespeople, so on and so forth. So you want to make sure that they give you money up front. And once you start selling deals through them and they're happy with what, with the volume that you're giving them, you want to make sure that you try and negotiate that front end to go up as quickly as possible, right? So what is the front end that everyone should look for? I believe a good front end is, just put front end, is around 2,000. That's the industry sort of standard, okay? But you don't have to, you don't have to stop there. I personally have clients that are getting, 3.5, even 5, even $4,000, up front, in front end money. So you want to know what they're really looking to do. If they're looking to give you an incentive and they see that that's important for you to keep your business going, you can even negotiate that 2,000 to go up. I personally don't believe that you should do, if you care about, front end, you should go lower than 2,000. Right? There's a lot of people that can say, we'll give you 500, we'll give you 1,000, this and that. If that works for you, by all means, right? But in most cases, like I said, you want to go lean and mean, and you want to make sure that that you're fully taken care of, and you can take care of your business expenses, and marketing expenses. So 2,000 is sort of like the benchmark that you want to be looking for. And that, ladies and gents, sums up the entire video. Make sure you subscribe and like the video if you enjoy the content, and share it with other people in the solar community. Let that, I want that channel to grow. I want to be, posting a lot more videos on the channel that are solar related and sales and marketing related. So, but we won't do that unless we grow. Right? So please share it with somebody who might be interested in, in the content like this. So let's sum it up again, what we have on the board when looking for the right installer and EPC partner. You want to ask around in Facebook groups or forums. You want to basically find out, again, people that have worked with the companies that you're looking to choose between. So, ask them real-time experiences. They're going to be able to tell you, whether or not it's even worth pursuing working with the particular, installer. So BBB, check what the BBB score is, because a lot of you are probably going to be presenting, to your customers as the install company, meaning if the install company doesn't have enough credibility, that means you can lose the deal just because their BBB score is low or whatever might be the case. So you want to make sure that, they're good on the install, okay? They do clean work, that, they have strong support, and they really care about the customers. So that's why that's very important. Check out the Google reviews as well. And next thing you want to make sure is that they're a decently sized company. And the only way for you to find out that is if they're doing, work in more than one state, okay? Just for your safety. And the next thing you want to make sure is that they have a decent red line, and you want to make sure if they have any hidden adders and stuff like that, don't get caught up in, initially on, oh, that company has a very good red line, so I'm going to be able to make a lot more money than that other company. Well, please make sure that a low red line really means low red line, and there's no hidden adders, basically. Okay, just something to watch out for. And the last thing is the front end payout, okay? Make sure that a good industry standard is the $2,000 up front. If you need it, okay? If you have big reserves of cash, you can take care of business, you don't need the front end payout. Don't worry about it. Again, it doesn't apply to you. But if you're like anyone else that goes into this industry lean and mean, then make sure that the front end payout is actually adequate to keep your business and marketing expenses going. And that, ladies and gents, is a wrap. Please make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel if you like the content. I'm going to be putting out a lot of content in 2021, solar related, of course. Share the video with somebody in the solar community if you think that's going to help them. So again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again on the next one.